I'm LeilaFox. In today's video, we're talking about the brand new Fusion Legendary that's coming on June 7th. This is going to be a traditional Fusion champ. Let's go check him out. His name is Hurndig, and he is in the Dwarf faction. All right, guys, as I told you, new Fusion. What did I tell you? I know, Leila's usually right. Every month, they've pretty much been giving us a fusion. So here's the new one. This guy is a dwarf. Look how his hair is in the morning. On Monday, June 7th, so this coming up Monday, it's gonna be a fusion event for a new champion. Now, they did not say fragment, you guys. They said fusion. So as I expected, we just had a fragment event with Ruel. So this most likely is going to be a traditional fusion, which means probably gonna need chickens, you're gonna need potions, you're gonna need all of that, okay? His name is called Hurndig. His name is Hurndig. All right. He's a legendary dwarf, magic affinity, because, you know, they're usually magic, and he's an attack type champ. So he gets an extra turn for killing an enemy with a default skill and decreases the cooldown of a third skill. Will be viable everywhere when you have several enemies in front of you. Dwarves lack champions with decreased defense, so Hurndig will fill this spot. He's also going to have a must-have debuff for Doom Tower, which is decreased accuracy. His third skill fully depletes the target's turn meter and is going to be good against dungeon bosses. And if you crit, your enemies better hide. Brings an additional AoE attack with 2 debuffs on top. Cherry on the cake, his passive skill fills his turn meter each time he's hit and each time an ally dies. So let's get into his kit. So his A1 is called Lethal Lust. Attacks an enemy and grants an extra turn and decreases the cooldown of Stasis Strike, which is the A3. Skill by 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Okay? Attacks an enemy, grants an extra turn, and decreases the cooldown of his A3 if his attack kills an enemy. His A2 is called Arcane Tempest. Attacks all enemies, has a chance of decreased defense. So A2 is an AoE decreased defense. So this guy is new. So guys, if you were just tuning in, new fusion for Monday. New fusion for Monday. All right. His A2 is an AoE decreased defense. A3 is called Stasis Strike. Attacks an enemy, fully depletes the target's turn meter. Also attacks all enemies if the first attack is a crit. This AoE attack has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns, and also places HP burn for 2 turns. And his A4, which is the passive, fills his champ's turn meter by 10% every time he's hit, and also fills his champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally dies. All right, so new guy called Hurndig, a fusion starting Monday. Okay, fusion starting Monday. Because as I told you guys, they pretty much do a fusion every month. And nothing here says that it's a fragment. Like, usually they tell if it's a fragment. So most likely, this is going to be a fusion. Yeah, so that's the thing. Kind of like King said. If we're assuming it's a fusion, does that mean other champs are coming along as well? Most likely. Theme, I guess, is they've been alternating between a fragment event and then a traditional fusion, right? Then we had the weird Brogni one that was a combination of both. Brogni was both a fragment and a fusion. So that was kind of a little bit of both. That was a little bizarre. But here's the new guy, Hurndig. What do you guys think? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? I think I like him for me as another heavy hitter. I like the AoE decreased defense. I think that's really nice. I think I personally can use that in my faction wars. I like the idea that he does get the extra turns if he kills an enemy. So I'm already thinking like faction wars for me, in particular with him. Filling the turn meter every time he's hit. I like that. Depleting target's turn meters. And I like this too, is they said that the dwarves lack champions with decreased defense, and he does have an AoE decreased defense. So that's going to be helpful. fully depletes the turn meter and fills his turn meter. So it's interesting. Guys, I also did. Yep, fills the turn meter. You read that right. Fills his champion's turn meter by 10% every time they're hit. And also 20% whenever an ally dies. CvC and Draco, and then there's a fusion after that. That's why I told you guys to be careful. That's why I told you guys to be careful, because there's the Draco event, right? There's Draco and Fane, and then we also have CvC. So if you're not careful, it's definitely a way for you to run out of resources. You have to be very careful. What that means with traditional fusion is you're gonna need energy, you're gonna need potions, and you're gonna need chickens. So keep that in mind. I know right now, there's champion training going on to try to get Fane and Draco, and we have CvC. So be mindful that if you're going for this guy, try to save some things, all right? And there will most likely be, again, like a champion summon. There's going to be a summon rush, you know, a champion chase. That's what I meant, summon rush. So if you never summoned Ruel out of the fragment, then that'll give you 500 points there. So there's some things to do with that too. All right, but here's the new guy.